Hi, this is Dr. Taz. Welcome to this edition of Talk with TAS. Today, I'm going to have a conversation with Dr. Jonica Rowland. Well, there she is.
Yes, I am. Hello, hello, hello.
How are you doing today?
Doing well, and I hope you are.
I am. We're going to go ahead and get started. Again, welcome to you to Talk with TAS. Oh, I want to just jump right in. You said that believe in God and in yourself, even when no one else will. That you have to believe in God and believe in yourself, even when no one else does believe. Can you share a pivotal moment in your life when this belief carried you through a significant change?
Yes, I had trauma throughout my life, and it's external. It wasn't inward, but the outward external forces can create problems on the inside.
Yes.
So I knew from there that I had to learn to build my faith. I was grateful to have a Christian grandmother who really had faith, and from there I built upon my faith. I only had one or two friends growing up as a child, and then of course a host of associates and whatnot. And I would escape in books and music, and that would help to build my confidence. However, later in life, life happens. It happens. Look at who we are. So it's going to happen, and we share our way along this journey to learn how to take a stand, and as people do when they go through boot camp, combat forces. So I would do that by reading, praying, and surrounding myself not just around people I can help, but people who could be in my circle, because the word of God says the multitude of counselors, there's safety in.
Absolutely.
So back in 2018, I lost my father and brother 60 days apart. And then prior to that, my grandmother died when I was carrying my first child. And then my mother was murdered when I was 10. So I was a big sister to my brother, who was 7. So we were 3 to 4 years apart. So from there, when this last incident happened, life event, we call them life events. When the last life event happened, I had been exercising, taking care of myself, working on my doctorate, and then all of a sudden I'm plunged out in New York City or California with no family around. Normally when you're
Yeah.
traveling, you have friends with you unless you're doing business. But I had to um, view dead bodies and whatnot to identify them. Um, and then I had to fly on planes alone, be on subways alone, on the city buses alone. And so from there, I just didn't have people who could understand, because not everyone can understand. They can imagine, but you can't understand. However, with God, I knew He understand. So from that point, I was on. I knew that I had to make this, because I'm just not counting on myself,
Mm.
but I know I have a God-given mission I need to fulfill. So a lot of people waiting on me to crack. They're either waiting on you to crack, have a mental breakdown, or think you're just supposed to snap back. So in that area, you have to have some type of balance, because you will not always just snap back.
Mhm.
There, I realized that, hi, it's time for me. If I don't believe in myself, no one else will.
Given the losses that you have experienced, how did that help you to turn those challenges into a strength for guiding others through their trials?
I turned it in there. I had the counseling. I did counseling along the way, and then I took counseling classes as well. Okay. So from there, I had to lean back on what I was supposed to do to help others. And instead of having that mentality, I got mine, you get yours, it's like we need to help each other together. Help each other.
Mhm.
They use that phrase, in it to win it. But how many people are in it to win it
Yeah.
together? And the only way you can do that is to make sure you don't compromise your time and your values so that others can see that they don't have to compromise. If you need to take that pause to get it together, you have to do it. You have to
Mhm.
do it. There's a generation looking at us trying to see how we are going to handle grief in situations. Um, Last few months, we had some challenges in America,
Mhm.
right? So
Mhm.
generation really stood up for what they want because sometimes they didn't think they can rely on us.
Mhm.
And even with the jobs, when they had that great exit,
Yes.
people were just tired.
Mhm.
Tired,
Mhm.
raw, as they would say. So
Mhm.
the legacy is making sure we pass down the principles and the wisdom that we've gained to help others. And not only that, we're letting people know that we aren't perfect. We can only control what we can control. And in that instance, relying on God lets us know that we can control us
Mhm.
instead of
Yes.
pointing at others, because
Mhm.
when you do, they're coming back at you.
Absolutely.
And you always have someone say, if that was me, I would do this and that. And I'm like, if this was you, you wouldn't have done this and that.
Mhm.
You would,
Absolutely.
you were not judgmental, but you
Mhm.
would have been hitting the bottle or you would have been smoking that stuff. But what are we going to do to overcome these challenges without relying on substance? Did I
Absolutely.
answer your question?
Talk with the audience a little bit about legacy planning from your perspective, and then give them a little advice for someone who's just starting to think about it that doesn't really know how to do it or even really what it means.
Yeah, so when it comes towards legacy planning, you have to get out of the tradition of thinking about success. You write the definition for success,
Mm.
your own success. Because if you don't, you're going around comparing other people.
Yes.
Well, they did it and they didn't make it.
Mhm.
I can't do it. I got my
Mhm.
comedy now. I'm going to bring that out one day.
Mhm.
Who asked you? Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
Unless you ask people for some advice, you may not be able to accept it all because legacy is about you and your God given vision.
Mhm.
It's not always about
Mhm.
a great invention. Okay. We have great leaders in our country. We don't know everyone who helped make them great
Yeah.
outside of maybe their parents.
Mhm.
But there's someone there who has helped someone to achieve or become greater. I want my
Mhm.
children to have a better life and achieve more than I did. And so that's legacy. That's legacy. Making
Mhm.
sure you thrive and not be all wrapped up into I want Johnny to do this and that. No. What are you doing? Let Johnny and Jill live their lives. Okay? That's legacy. Being the leader you're called to be.
Mhm.
Praying for our leaders instead of cutting them down, no matter who's in office, you know. Um, Praying for our spouse instead of cutting them down in public. That's legacy.
Mhm.
Look at the virgin woman. She didn't sit around and wait on her husband. She had handmaids. She created jobs. Okay,
Mhm.
merchant ship. She
Yes.
didn't wait around on her husband, and you don't have to be on a feminist move to do what you're called to do, whether you're a woman or a
Mhm.
man.
Mhm.
We do. So, one of my sons, I think it was one of my sons, used to be like, "Oh, get out of your feelings,
Exactly. Exactly.
get out of
Exactly.
your feelings, and trust God. Trust God.
Exactly.
That's legacy." Won an award the other night. You were there. I didn't even write a speech
Mhm.
because I was so
Exactly.
busy.
Yes.
But then I build upon what I've learned over the years, and I just trusted God. So that's
Mhm.
legacy.
Mhm.
Knowing your definition of success, you define who you are, okay, and not rely on other people to define you and get accolades and likes on social media and whatnot. Because at the end of the day, as a businesswoman or a career woman or someone in poverty, at the end of the day,
So when it comes to this financial freedom, how do we educate families around that?
okay, so financial freedom. we don't have to be perfect, but there's some things we need to take control of. We've had near 9 job layoffs. Okay, I experienced with businesses. To learn how to let some things go. Okay? Let it go. Let it go. We can't just jump after every shiny object. You want the house, but are you going to be renting and putting furniture on credit? Okay. Who are you trying to please? Once you have that mindset on who you're trying to please, you can have freedom. You can have $1 in the bank and feel financially free. Okay? Because someone can make 100,000, 200,000 a year, but if we have 300,000 in debt, are they going to still feel free? Are they going to have that mindset to say, "Hey, I'll just go find out how to make another 100,000 so I can clear up debt"? Or are they going to sit back, keep kicking themselves? How in the world did I get into this? Okay, so the financial freedom starts in your mindset. I just have the freedom to believe that, hey, the Lord has given us all to have all the ability to have wealth. Okay, that's your greatest ability. Even they say that in the financial sector, even at the disability month. Your greatest achievement and ability is to be able to create wealth, not just money, but to know what to do with the money. If you lose money, how are you going to attain money? Is it a 9 to 5? Are you going to have a GoFundMe? Or are you going to take that dream and that vision to the next level and learn how to monetize it? Or are you going to say no to some things that aren't towards your cause? Or are you going to just keep giving time away? So it's money and time, money and time. We know the time value of the dollar is going down. We know that we can't go back and get time. But I do believe that health-wise, we can reverse the hand of the clock. Because as we get wisdom, we learn how to do things in a healthier manner so that we can have health and that strength, not just say, I can't wait until I retire, but this is what I'm going to do when I retire, So we still have to know that word power of no. And when we have the financial freedom, and as you said, the mindset, the God-given mindset to know what to do with our time, we're going to have freedom. We're going to have freedom.
Being able to move forward. And I guess that means also, and we're going to get off of this, but then maybe we won't. That also means not getting stuck in the past. Because if I'm stuck in the past, Dr. Jonica, can I build anything for the future if I'm in the past?
No, you can't. Because when you look at many of us who were in New York City, everyone might have a little touch of PTSD. Okay. Then when you start seeing people get murdered or whatnot, it takes us up to another level. Okay. And if you can't get past that image in your head, you just can't move forward. You're living in the past. And so no matter what it is, whether it's a job layoff or discrimination, we can't let it build up because then there's a snowball effect. And what does the snowball does? Does it roll uphill or does the snowball roll down the hill?
Roll down.
That snowball effect, you're going down.
You're going down.
You want to go down with the ship if the ship is sinking? No, you're going to try to save yourself. So you save yourself because you're not only saving yourself for yourself, you're saving yourself for others. Now, I'm not saying you're going to help everyone, let everyone take advantage of you, but you have to write a vision. You have to know where you want to go. So when life hits you and you're struggling trying to get out of that pit that you either been forced into or you open the door for, you can go back to that vision. You can go back to what you told everyone else you're going to do. Hold yourself accountable. You just have to pull yourself out. You have to pull yourself out. You have to figure out a way you're going to do it. You're either going to pay for counseling or you're going to do some self-help. Help. You either going to fast, whether it's spiritually or intermittent. You're going to watch what you eat. You got to find your triggers so that you can build that strength to overcome it. To me, you have to become your Navy SEAL of your own life. So get out of that pit to move forward. Because when when you're going down, it's not just you, it's your loved ones and everyone else looking at you. Then also, there is the outside voices saying, I knew they weren't going to amount to nothing. Okay, so you got
Exactly.
that outside voice, you got that inner voice.
Mhm.
But are you the voice of God bring you out?
Can you share maybe a professional example or maybe a personal example where this was especially difficult, but was necessary for you to do to say no in order to keep the legacy that you were building intact?
Yes. So as we know, there was a mandate for the electric cars. Okay, making sure the chargers and people game up
Hmm.
and invest in those type of businesses. Okay, and then you have some leadership who was going forward with it. Then you have some leadership that was falling back on it. And so I was like, ooh, this is really affecting my pocket and my time and my sleep because I need all the sleep I can get so that I can do my other projects. So I let it go. So then one or two of the leaders from that organization, they started moving on to other organizations and they try to bring me along. And I just sat back and I started thinking, well, it takes me 6 months to build up to really do something new. Let me just sit back and give people 6 months to a 12-month period to perfect everything. Because I'm not one who has to reinvent the wheel. I can improve the wheel, but I
Hmm.
don't have it. So from there, I'm just not taking on any new projects unless one wants to pay me as a consultant. Because I didn't get my doctorate in business just to um, give everything a trial run, okay? Or just to
Hmm.
try something
Hmm.
out. No, we're here. We're not perfect, but then we do have to have some type of mindset of perfection so that we won't keep going in circles like that hamster in the middle of the wheel. So I say no to new projects and new ventures unless someone wants to pay me to consult to help keep it going, because then I have my God given projects and ventures that I need to work on. And if you let them lie dormant, there's no steam behind it. So you have to pick your battles,
Hmm.
you have to pick projects, you have to say no professionally, and in some cases, I just come out and say, that's not my charity. God has given me my charities.
How has studying her example challenged you to adopt new strategies or perspectives in balancing faith, learning, and success?
Yeah, so Lydia had a lot on the line. You know, she sold purple, and purple was something big back then, okay? It's almost like oil and gas now,
Uh-huh.
or electric cars. And so from that, Lydia put her life on the line to become a follower of Christ, a
Hmm.
believer. What they first were called Christians in Acts, but however you put it, believing in Jesus,
Yes.
okay? During a time where there was no social media and you don't know whoever else was in the world believing it. But you did hear of people losing lives
Yes.
in that move, right?
Hmm. Yes.
Put herself on the line, you know, no matter how many riches and furs and whatever you got, riches and wealth, how much
Hmm.
riches and wealth you have, people um, they may follow you if you decide to take that ownership and put some things on the line for value.
Hmm.
That's when I'm knowing your value. So she knew she had to make a change. Back then, it was anything goes, almost like now, and some stuff, even like now, is just inhumane.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
Lydia kept her business going, and then she expressed her values, and not only that, she helped other followers of Christ.
Hmm.
Lydia could have just done her business and stayed uncovered.
Well, again, you're so right in all areas of our life. I want to thank those who joined us today. And until next time, remember before you take care of anyone else, make sure you take care of yourself first. Bye now. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Jonica. Bye
Thank
bye.
you.